Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, and that means it is a pack day on this game for two different reasons. Firstly, our 85 times 3 SBC is expiring. That's a normal thing that happens on Tuesdays, and a new SBC is going to replace that. The second thing is, it's the second week of a 2-week promo. You wait for Dreamchasers. We know what that means. Guaranteed UEFA Dreamchasers pack should be dropping today via an SBC, otherwise known as the trade-in. Do we need to invest in Dreamchasers cards? What's that going to do to the rest of the market? We're going to talk about that today, but that's not even the biggest news. The servers were down yesterday. FUT Champs has been extended. There's a left-back evolution leak that was leaked yesterday. Prices went crazy, and then it didn't drop, but we're expecting it still in this game, and we have official card designs and news about the Immortals promo. Again, leaks a little bit every single day leading up to the big promo Friday that's being hyped up for sure. Let's talk about it, guys. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Firstly, yesterday's Monday content. It was really not a busy day in terms of the content that we actually got inside of the game. It was all the other news that made it kind of busy. Firstly, here, a rush objective, a flash rush event for this objective. Dreamchasers only. Guys, it's kind of funny. This is the most restrictive, I think, rush has ever been. You can't really do Evos and Rush right now unless you're using Premier League players, because you're restricted right now in the 2 modes for Rush until content today when one of them goes away to only play with Premier League players or Dreamchasers. Now again, you can use loan cards now. It does take the games off the cards, but you can use loan Dreamchasers, of course. EA has given us plenty of these from objectives like the Kaká, Nuno Mendes, and other players along those lines. So you can use those to complete the weekly Rush objective and the Dreamchasers only objective here. I mean, honestly, I would play Rush right now if you're going to, because I played one game in the new mode yesterday and got 12,000 Rush points with a team. 2.5x multiplier there. Very, very easy to get this objective done and the weekly rush points, which of course, since it's a Tuesday, is going to refresh today. So I have to mention that one there. If you want to play some rush, do it before the content drop today. Now, we're going to skip past Evos and talk about that a little bit later, but as a part of yesterday's content, like we said, it was pretty quiet. It was just 2 player SBCs, the first of which was a player of the month for Liga F, and it is Gio Garbellini. And honestly, if you're a Liga F fan, you want some Brazilian Atletico Madrid links, and you really want a cracked out card, put this card right here into the Strike Force 500k Evo, because she would have rapid, quick step, and low driven plus 5-star skills. Not a bad card, honestly, pretty cheap. Nothing super crazy. Playstyles are all right. The rolls are good. Advanced forward, poacher, and target forward plus plus. Not a bad player, again, and pretty cheap. So really not a whole lot else to say here, except if you want an 88 rated card for an 82 and 83 rated squad with 2 informs, which if you have extra informs, that's worth it for an 88 rated card, just for some extra 82s and 3s that you have. That was the first SBC that we had yesterday, and we had a goalkeeper SBC. We've actually got another one incoming in terms of a league. Really interesting. A lot of goalkeepers recently here. We have Oblak with the far reach and the deflector plus playstyle plus is 4-star weak foot. You know what? Oblak, I feel like he gets 1 special card a year. Look at his passing playstyles, by the way. Incisive, pinged, and long ball. I feel like Oblak gets 1 special card a year, whether it's like an SBC or some card that's in packs, and this is it for him this year. I think he's actually a pretty decent keeper in game, and he actually might be pretty good. The only problem is he's missing that very coveted and very important now in this game footwork play style. He's got the far reach plus, which is good. Casillas has got that, and that's why he's highly regarded in this game. Same thing with Buffon. But the footwork, man, with the low-driven playstyle plus and playstyle right now, very, very important. So I really, honestly, am curious to see how this Oblak performs in game. It might just be a fun card to try. But 83, 84, 84, and 85 rated squads, once again, for the price of this SBC, it's a good 92 rated card to put into Hullet or to just get in your club. Once again, this promo continues as high-rated, cheap SBC cards to stock in the club for SBCs now or SBCs in the future. Now, I will say, at least right now in this game, a lot of goalkeepers have actually kind of gone down in price. Like Tim Howard is 79,000 coins. If you take a look at the graph of him over the past 2 weeks, he really started dropping off on Friday. I think that's because of Allison. He was 180,000 coins. Allison comes out as another Prem keeper. He goes down to 120, and then yesterday he goes from 100k, 97,000 coins, now to 78k. This is a card that could rebound eventually because he does have the footwork plus, but that is a goalkeeper that's down a good bit right now, and I think some of the other cheaper goalkeepers are down too because the Oblak, and there's another keeper that is leaked as a flashback to be coming soon as well. So EA's kind of given us a lot of keeper SBCs and cards in the game recently. Now, the last SBC that we had yesterday was was the 81 1 of 3 player pick. I know some people are not a huge fan of this because it still requires 3 rares. But guys, I'm telling you, this is a really, really good player pick because it only requires 5 players. And again, it's a little annoying that it does require 3 rares, but if you're doing the grassroots grind, then this is, or sorry, not grassroots, Dreamchaser's grind for those upgrade packs. You're getting rares back in that. You can get rares from multiple other places in this game. These 81 1 of 3 player picks, I think, are my favorite unlimited repeatable upgrade player picks. I've gotten so many 84s, 5s, and 6s on the consistent basis with these player picks. Let's try one here and see what we get. But like getting 84s and 5s is kind of the normal. 84 right there, like boom, like that feels decent for me to put in those 5 golds. That's it, and I get an 84 back. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. I think you have a good chance of getting walkouts, and even though the pack weight for this promo is kind of, you know, bad and kind of mid, I still think those 81 plus picks are going to be great to stack for this Friday with the new Immortals promo coming out, or even opening them right now, still during this promo, to try to collect higher rated fodder to do the SBCs you're trying to get done. I'm still opening packs at the moment, even with this big Friday upcoming, this big promo of Immortals. I'm still doing packs right now because I'm trying to do Gerd Muller. I'm trying to do all the other cheap SBCs that are out the road to the finals, and I don't want to have a whole lot of SBCs to do, even though I may have a whole lot of fodder. Like, I'd rather use some of my fodder now and get some of those SBCs done and not have to worry about them once we get to this Friday when there's new players that are going to be out, new SBCs taking my attention and maybe pulling for my fodder. I'd rather get the ones that I know I need to get done now instead of waiting on that. But that's kind of just completely up to you and how much you want to save your packs versus how much you actually want to open them right now. I know a lot of people are turning on the pack save mode. They're saving rewards that they're getting from FUT Champs. They're saving the Rivals rewards this week that you're going to be getting, even objective packs that are pretty good. That is something that is going on right now in this game for sure. Now, I want to talk about fantasy cards next because EA dropped some upgrades yesterday and it was well timed. And honestly, some of these upgrades are absolutely cooking. Of course, for me, I think it's the most popular card right now with his +1 overall. Guys, he has 40,000 coins on the market. He was 35,000 coins with this +1 and some of the in-game stats and becoming 5-star, 5-star that he has. A lot of people are really, really interested in this card. Looks very good for sure. I mean, all he got was the +2 skill moves and the +1 overall. He had already gotten the intercept and the technical, as we have covered, and the 99 dribble on that Fermin card, but he is looking like a beast. And now he is fully upgraded. The only upgrades that most of these cards have left inside of the fantasy promo now are just the domestic win upgrade and the domestic cup win upgrade here, which gives a playstyle plus and or a +1 overall or a 99 stats. So those are a little bit further down the road. Of course, we've talked about for Kvaratskhelia, it's not that far down the road, potentially, just depending on when they would upgrade him. But some of the other cards that got upgraded yesterday, EA did the business with this Zé Roberto, 99 pace upgrade on him. That is a unbelievable card, and his card is up. He is one of the cards that after the upgrades yesterday went up in price. 2.5 million coins. I believe he was like 2.1 to 2.2. Alphonso Davies got a pretty nice boost as well. He got a +2 overall, and his card actually went up a little bit yesterday as well. Kind of like 2 upgrades being clinched at once. No yellow or red cards, and the second win for him. So, boom, a nice +2 there. And then Randall Colomani, if you did this SBC, you're finally getting paid out with a nice Colomani upgrade. +2, false 9 ++, and he does go to 5-star, 5-star. Again, just a reminder, using the Footbin tracker here, you can take a look at all the cards that have been upgraded, even the ones and the few that still have some upgrades left to go, which is not very many cards, but there are a few still outstanding with some upgrades. And then, of course, it's the league upgrades mostly left for a lot of these cards. Now, the last thing I want to talk about from yesterday's content is this right here. Well, before we get to the Evos, this right here, guys, EA yesterday somehow their servers went down, and it was terrible. Like, honestly, you couldn't even get into the game. We were stuck on the menus. We were playing football bingo on stream because the servers were down for, it was honestly like an hour, maybe 2 hours, where the servers were down completely and then really inconsistent after that. And that is why EA tweeted about this, and then they tweeted a few hours after that the issue was resolved. And then very thankfully, right after that, they tweeted that as a result of the servers going down, FUT Champs Finals has been extended by 24 hours. hours. Now, I haven't even seen this for myself in game, but yeah, actually, if you take a look at the timer right now, still 1 day, 2 hours there, which is so awesome because I played one game of Foot Champs yesterday. Of course, didn't play a lot over the weekend, was playing my games yesterday, was hoping to get them all done, and then, you know, servers went down. So that kind of cut the motivation for me, and now I'm super glad to have the extra day. It's going to put me behind on Rivals, but that was very nice that EA was able to extend that, which is kind of like what they should do, but still, it's nice to have them actually follow through with that and do that when the servers go down for a couple of hours on such an important day of Foot Champs being open. So that is a GG. The only thing that it doesn't do is it doesn't compensate for those who, you know, like let's say you were in a game when the servers went down and you got a disconnect and you got a loss. There's really no compensation for that. That's the sucky thing about it. At least EA is giving the weekend league extension, but it's just, that's just unlucky. Like, I don't know how else to say that. They've never fixed that sort of situation before. It feels like you should get compensated with something, but they never do anything about that one. Had a nice little comment tweet here. We are investigating. The confirmed servers are down as we were trying to get in the menus over and over and over. Now, that was kind of the stuff that we needed to cover. Before we get to the leaks, I want to cover a leak from yesterday that actually kind of pertains to content today. But since it happened yesterday, we really need to talk about it first. Guys, yesterday before content, there was a leak about a left back evolution. And this actually got me kind of excited because I feel like I need a left back Evo for the Evo teams and cards that I'm trying to put together, USA and Spurs squads. And then so many Evos right now have been for strikers and for attackers. And even the Derek Kaiser for a center back Evo has been good, but we are lacking like a true left back or right back Evo. We were talking about this in the stream too. We had festive wing back, which is like most of us probably play our wing backs or our defenders on the outside, left backs and right backs on fullback. Maybe you play like wing back support, but I think a lot of people are playing fullback balanced or fullback defend just because that's kind of the way you have to in this game, or else you're going to concede 8 goals instead of 5, which we do with this high scoring game play that we have right now. So I don't exactly know what the boost of this evolution is giving, but with a left back boost being leaked, a lot of people went out and a lot of people were excited to buy cards who could potentially fit this. This is the first tweet that I saw at least that really set things off, and it was hyped. Up until the content dropped, there was a lot of people trying to figure out what this evolution is going to be requiring, what cards are going to fit into it. It looks like max 89s. This Kerkez is one of the biggest cards that fits the Evo with slide tackle and jockey plus already. Very popular Premier League left back here with 93 pace. You're like, hold on a second. If this guy can be evolved, he might be getting some nice stat boosts here with already good play styles. This could be nice. He went from 170k to 230,000 coins because he is confirmed leaked to be fitting inside this evolution. There's a lot of players that fit it. It's very interesting because you can have pretty high pace. It looks like you can have up to 94 pace. Cards with 94 pace will fit this evolution. Even cards with 90 physical, like this Espino, is allegedly going to fit this Evo as well as the Anthony Robinson here. But the biggest thing about it is Teo Hernandez does not fit. That is according to the league. Teo Hernandez does not fit. When you think about a left back in this game, you think about Teo. Everybody uses him. If you've packed him, you've evolved him. And even if you haven't, you're waiting for an evolution for him, right? This is just the left back in this year's game. Yesterday, off this left back evolution leak, even though it was blatantly obvious and stated that he does not fit, multiple guys tweeted and like, no, Teo does not fit. He still went up in price from 230,000 coins to 270k. Free coins there, GG's. He's still up 270,000 coins right now for this card. Now, the leakers that were leaking this yesterday were saying that it's probably going to come today instead, and the leaks just kind of came out early for it. But since it happened before content yesterday, everybody got really excited for it, and then it didn't happen, so that was kind of a buzzkill. Now, one thing to mention is our resident kind of most trusted evolution leaker, Foot Agent, did not tweet about it. So if he's going to say something about it today, you would maybe expect double confirmation that it would be coming. That is one thing I think that we're learning from this right now. Other guys may have evolution leaks, but at least Foot Agent, when he's tweeting out these Evo leaks, it's kind of happening the same day that he is tweeting those out. So I kind of wanted to mention that because that seems to be a pretty common trend with him. All leakers, you know, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. You never know what's going to be 100% accurate. You never know what's going to be, you know, like 50%, like what's going to be slightly off. But his leaks have been more right than wrong recently. A couple more cards I want to shout out here. Ferland Mendy fits this Evo. He was up crazy. Lewis Skelly evidently fits it as well. Ashley Cole's Thunderstruck Icon card, you might have that in the club, evidently fits. And so does the Prime and the base version of Zay Roberto. So this does look like a decent Evo, and it has a lot of potential here for the upgrades. Guess I'm really curious to see what playstyle pluses it gives and what sort of defense and physical stat upgrades it gives as well. So that's going to be something to look for as a part of the content drop today. Now, speaking of a few more leaks, let's get into the Immortals news from yesterday on a Monday. We had the official designs leaked for the heroes and the icons. Once again, the Immortals promo is heroes and icons only. And I will say this because a lot of people are saying this right now. OMG, Hazard's getting another card. No, Hazard is not a leak. It's just the card design. Sometimes I wish when they posted these leaks, they wouldn't include a player because it makes some people believe that the player is a part of the promo. That is not a Hazard leak. Does this card design fit your preferences is my next question. I think this card design looks sick. I think it's really cool looking. I think like the chain there on the triangle, it kind of has a Centurions type of vibe to it. It's got like some sparks and some flame in the background. I like the orange. What is it, like a dark brown? Just the dark and the orange kind of contrast there. I think that looks pretty sick. I think my favorite though between the icon and the hero is the icon. Look at the state of that. Again, Dino is not a leak, but that is one heck of an icon design. They're going with the chains here for this Immortals design. I'm not sure what the chains around, the EAFC triangle, which is in a lot of different card designs, is about. Some people have been drawing comparisons to the Thunderstruck and the Centurions promo from earlier on this year. Some people are drawing comparisons to the Golazo and Trophy Titans promos of previous years, which is kind of what this promo is upcoming, the same sort of vibe. I love that card design though. That looks absolutely insane. For the icon one, it's very bright. Of course, icon designs are mostly white, but you still have that orangish yellow in there. You got some of the darker spots in there, and then this one I think just looks sick. I like the contrast of the dark and the white for the heroes and the icons. So those are the official card designs for the promo. And since they're kind of slow drip leaking, the leaks for this promo, it's just a matter of time before we start getting some player names, before we start getting some news about who's going to be SBCs, as these leakers have been hyping it up. Like every single day, just a little bit more gets out. And yeah, we're getting closer to Friday today. So we'll see what happens to come out with the leaks based on that. But those are the official card designs, and we'll probably get some more information soon. Now, one last leak from yesterday is Team of the Season is the next name of the season. So like the season pass season, right now it's called Season 6 Memory Lane. Season 7 is going to be Team of the Season. So that is kind of a very early leak. I mean, we still have 22, 23 days left in the current season, which is 3 weeks from this Thursday, 3 more weeks after that until we get a new season. So that means at least Immortals Team 1 and 2, and then some other sort of buffer week inside of there. But of course, when this would be going live, you would expect Team of the Season would be in game. So whether it's in the middle of Team of the Season that the new season refreshes and Team of the Season is right after Immortals, or maybe there's a week in between that and the Team of the Season, sorry, a lot of season words, right? TOTS Season 7 would start maybe right before the actual start of Team of the Season. We'll have to see. But that is big news because it just kind of puts in perspective, like, it's April. No April Fools in this video today, but it is April, and it's almost TOTS time, man, which is very exciting because once you get to Foot Birthday, the next thing that's really on your radar is Team of the Season for sure. Even though we have a hyped Immortals promo that is upcoming, Team of the Season just kind of has its own level of crazy hype. We'll see what EA do differently this year. They made some big changes for last year, but that's way off in the future. Let's talk about what's today, not far off, in the here and the now. Tuesday, trade-in day. Guaranteed Dreamchasers SBC. Now, some of the leakers have started to say that this is going to be happening today as well, but also just based on previous weeks and promos, we kind of know to expect this, right? The trade-in SBCs have been turned in 3 players from the current promo team. So like for Dreamchasers, it'll take 3 Dreamchasers cards from Team 1 or 2. Probably won't matter if it's Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League. They'll let you turn in any of the 3, I would imagine. And then you get a 1 guaranteed player pack out of that. Now, here's the thing I'm a little bit worried about this time around. Firstly, there's a lot of fodder cards. Team 1 and Team 2, just like with all the other promos, not as many fodder cards as Foot Birthday, but like how hype is it going to be to do this SBC? It's kind of just a a fun chance SBC since it's a guaranteed promo card, and especially since this promo and Team 1 felt very unpackable. You know, maybe you have a little bit better chance today of hitting a Kimmich or a Valverde or a Salah if you're lucky, or maybe a Harry Kane, Putellas, or Payeur. I mean, not a great chance, but maybe a little bit of a chance. There's always some people that get very lucky with these trade-in SBCs. But the thing that worries me is the pack code, guys. The earliest or the latest pack code, like the last added to the code that I could find that talked about a UEFA Dreamchasers guarantee pack, was dropped a long time ago. The only reason that worries me is right before we had the Foot Birthday one, remember they added Heroes. It was an 89 plus Foot Birthday guarantee with Heroes included as a part of that trade-in SBC pack. I mean, if they're not adding in the Heroes at least, but even the icons for the Dreamchasers trade-in, that's going to be a little bit of an L. And hopefully it doesn't require 3 players then if it's going to be that sort of requirement. That's why I'm a little bit concerned, I guess, because this pack code's from March 11th, so it's kind of old. And I believe that's the latest guaranteed Dreamchasers pack that has been added to the code. That's why it worries me just a little bit. So I would watch out maybe for some new code today, because I believe last week or 2 weeks ago during Foot Birthday, they added the code kind of last second. I would love to see them add in UEFA Dreamchasers guarantee plus the hero, maybe plus the icon as well. And since we don't have a new code, that's why it's worrying me just a little bit, I guess I would say. But as always, guys, I don't think it's worth spending coins on going out and buying Dreamchasers player to do this SBC. Like, unless you just like want to send it for a little bit, like, you're probably not going to make many coins off of this, and the chance of you putting in a Hugo Bueno 3 times or getting, you know, putting in 3 of these 12 to 14,000 coin cards and getting one of them back is very, very high. Now, the cheapest Dreamchasers right now, UCL cards are 14K. They are not the cheapest. The cheapest overall are the Conference League cards. They are about 12,000 coins into sell 13K. I think if you're going to do any sort of investment in these cards, I mean, the UEFA UCL Dreamchasers are already up a little bit. These were 13.5 yesterday for the Hugo Bueno. He's, of course, from Team 1, so he's out of packs. Like, you know, I think these could go up 1 to 2 to 3,000 coins, but I don't think it would go super duper crazy. We'll just have to see it. It doesn't feel like a spot-on investment. Like the first couple weeks that these trade-ins came out, it was like obvious investment, got to get involved with the low-tier guys, and they went up like crazy, right? Remember during Future Stars and Grassroots, those fodder cards went from like, I think 17K to like 20 something, maybe even lower than that, 15K to 25. And it just hasn't been the same way. Foot birthdays, obviously, remember, foot birthdays were starting to go up. They were at 16K. They went to 18. Then EA messed up the SBC. They said they messed it up. They dropped it later, and those cards never went up. So I don't think you need 100% to invest in Dreamchasers today. You can if you want, but try to just pay like 13K for the UCL and maybe for the Europa League and maybe 12K for the Conference League, because the Conference League cards like Zvekovic and Avila and Moreno are just more supplied than the other ones. So I don't think there's going to be a huge rise on cards like that. And I also don't think there's going to be a huge drop on any of the players. Like, sure, a guy like this Leon Bailey is probably going to get packed a little bit more, and his price actually dropped off a good bit yesterday. So I picked up a couple of him at like 61,000 coins on bid. I just think this is a guy who's going to be like 70 to 75K by the time we get into around the content drop today. Even with this SBC upcoming, this is the card that I'm kind of looking at for a quick flip trade today. I don't know if it's going to really crash a lot of these cards that are in Team 1 or Team 2, so I wouldn't expect any of that. But maybe some of the more lower tier cards could just take, like Allison, maybe he takes a little bit of a dip. I would be super careful investing in these cards anyway right now, just because of what is upcoming with the Immortals promo. And as we take a little bit of a step back and kind of look at the market in general, sure, prices did pretty well yesterday after, of course, content wasn't that fantastic. Now, you know, like Musiala, you can see is up right there. That's a little low for him. Usually he's over 500K. Zaire Emery's just down a little bit. Fluctuation trading is alive and well. The cards are moving very, very well in the market. I just think you want to be a little bit more careful as we head later on to this week with what is potentially upcoming with Immortals. We have the card designs now. It's only a matter of time once again until we actually see some leaked players. So I would just be careful with trading too much a whole lot right now. And that way, if you have a lot of coins invested in cards, ooh, yo, can I get that Doumbia though real quick? 1.23, that's cheap. You just don't want to have a whole lot of coins invested into cards with a big, insane promo upcoming like this one. Now, a Doumbia, we can still do some quick flips here. Is he actually 1.23? Wow. That's crazy. There's 2 of them on the market, man. See, like this worries me that he's been sitting that long. And I believe yesterday he did have a spike. Read the graph live with TFA. 1.27 up to 1.33, 1.28 up to 1.38. What about Sunday? Sunday he was 1.4s and 5s down to the 1.2s. Last Saturday, 1.2s up to the 1.3s. So yeah, we're going to buy that. I'm going to just buy one of those. And then hopefully he goes back up to like 1.25 just because I want to get some coins active. I want to make some trades, and this Doumbia does look pretty insane. And we had good luck trading with Gervinho on the weekend, so we're going to go for that. But, you know, that's probably going to be the only card that I buy for a flip outside of the couple of Leon Baileys that I picked up here for 60 to 61K. And I was going to pick up a couple Nuno Menj at like 105. I think he's already 120. But those would be quick flips only. I'm not going to hold on to cards super long with what is upcoming. Now, let's just kind of close out the video by talking about the rest of Tuesday content today because we had a couple more SBC leaks. This is the first one. Sure, we still are waiting for a road to the final SBCs, that Philip Lahm SBC as well. We're still waiting on those, but we have a showdown SBC for a game I believe that's happening this weekend. Al Hilal and Al Nasser, Laporte versus Milinkovic-Savic. I think the playstyle pluses are the most disappointing part about these two. Laporte looks decent, Milinkovic-Savic looks decent too, but first touch on a center mid, personally not for me. And long ball and aerial on a center back. If he's got every other defensive playstyle regular, then I would be down for Laporte, especially for the links to the flashback Cristiano Ronaldo. And again, the winner of this would get a +2. If the game does draw, I think both would get a +1. So that's probably going to be an SBC we see in the next couple of days just because it's got to be released a few days before the actual showdown in real life. Now, I want to go to another player leaked SBC list here. We talked about this yesterday. Esme Brooks, Ernest Dumois, and Bahoya. Still waiting for those 3-player SBCs as a part of Road to the Finals, which would be in the UEFA promo. So today, tomorrow, Thursday, maybe those 3 SBCs will be dropped 3 days in a row. We'll have to see. But add another name of leaked SBCs to the list. Szczesny. I mean, we said goalkeepers, man. Like, goalkeepers are coming in hot right now. Szczesny is added to come as a flashback SBC soon. Stats are a prediction. Really interested to see what they give him. What's up with EA dropping the goalkeepers, though? For real. We had the Allison in the team. We have the Oblak SBC, and now we have this for Szczesny. Really, really interesting here. And I guess we'll just see what the official card does end up looking like. And that could be an interesting one for the links for sure. It could be very interesting. We'll just have to see what the official playstyle pluses and what the stats look like for Szczesny. Those are the player SBC leaks that we do have at the moment. Of course, we mentioned the left back Evo leak. If you're going to try to invest in any left backs, I would just tell you to be a little bit careful. Selling the hype for sure for any of this without knowing what the actual boosts are. And I would imagine that we do get some more information and we get some actual knowledge on what the boosts are. So maybe once we see that, you could invest and hold, but probably selling the hype for all of that, of course. And speaking of Tuesday upgrade packs, we mentioned at the beginning of the video that 85 times 3 expires today, which means something is going to replace it. The question is, what is it? My guess is the 8310. We've been going back and forth between the 84.5, 83.14, and 83.10. That would be my guess. Hopefully 4 times repeatable per day. That would be super duper nice to get us kind of locked in and set up for the Immortals promo. Being able to stack those up every day, that'd be cool. I love the 83.14 as well. If EA wanted to be oh so nice and do an 84 times 7 or an 84 times 10, we would absolutely take that as well. But get your team of the weeks ready, right? This is what this means because there's always a team of the week requirement. Hopefully it's just one squad for the 83 times 10 today. And team of the weeks, last call to buy for an investment here to sell throughout the week. I believe there's still 11,750 or 12K. Team of the weeks are still 11,000 coins. Wow. Yeah, I think this is a decent opportunity to buy some cards. 11.5? 11.250 sitting? Wow, 11.5 sitting. I think this is a good opportunity to get on bids and list these cards hopefully for 13 and 14K, make a couple thousand a card, no sweat. Just keep relisting them for lazies on the market, and hopefully they start rising today and maybe keep going into kind of Friday, how the normal trend is for those cards. So that's kind of all the Tuesday content that we would be expecting today. Of course, Foot Champs is still going on. We got a couple of trades that we're going to make today with the Doumbia now and the 3 Leon Baileys that I picked up. We'll just have to keep it pretty simple with those trades apart from that, and we'll see if Doumbia, the bro, can go up today. 1.23 and 1.24 there. So he is pretty low, but we'll test that flip out there, and we will play some Foot Champs today. It's been a good menu grind personally for me as well, with the 85-3, with all the objective packs. Like, I'm not trying to save packs, but with how many 81 plus picks I'm going to be able to do with the Dreamchasers grind packs, which I still have to do from yesterday, like, man, you can just do so many player picks right now in this game if you're doing your daily silver, your Dreamchasers grind and all that. One thing I will mention is the timers are off on these grind packs. They refresh an hour late since content is moved up an hour earlier if you're in the US or in other places around the world, because the UK clocks went forward. Some of the refreshes are a little bit weird, like the daily games refreshes an hour after 6 p.m. content, and so do these SBCs here. That's just because of the time change, and it's just going to take until those SBCs expire for that to change back to normal and kind of refresh in normal time. So that's going to be the video for today, guys. Have a great Tuesday. I will see you guys in the streams. Link down below in the description for the Twitch stream, and then of course we'll be live here on YouTube as well. I appreciate the love. Good luck in your Dream Chasers packs today. We'll be looking at those on stream and opening those up, and of course finishing our weekend league and seeing what other craziness we get today on a Tuesday in FC 25. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the support and all the videos, and I will see you in the stream today. And if you like the video, drop a thumbs up on it, comment below if you have any questions, and of course subscribe if you're new. Love you guys. It's been TheFutAccountant. Have a great Tuesday. Peace out.